In theme this week, we're going to be doing lots of science investigations, and we're going to be the main focus is going to be on fair testing. So we're going to do an investigation today, and the investigation is to see the effect that liquids have on eggshells. We're using eggshells because eggshells is a very similar properties to what your teeth enamel are. So we're going to see what happens to your teeth if we don't clean them. So I've chosen Coca-Cola. And I've also chosen vinegar because I know my daughter puts so much vinegar on her chips, it's unbelievable. And I'm just wondering what effect that does have on your teeth, especially if you don't clean them. So to make it a fair test, remember that's our focus this week, what we're going to do, we have got 3 jars, and if they can be identical would be perfect, but not everyone's got the same. So I've got 2 jam jars and I've labelled them what I'm going to be using, and another jar there. So I'm going to use water for one, and the reason being I want something to compare them to. So I'm going to see, and I'm going to, I don't know if you can see the mark, it's just up to there, so I'm going to try and make sure that they're all the same. So I've got water in that one. My eggshells are pretty much the same size. They can't be perfect, but they're not far off, so I'm going to pop that one in the water. I'm going to make sure that the water gets a good soak. I'll now do the vinegar one. And again, I'm going to use my measure to make sure it's a fair test. So I'm going to fill, oh look at that, just enough, a little bit left over. I think I'll pop my eggshell in there now and pour the vinegar in. Make sure it's got the label right. So there's no vinegar in there, I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. That's why I'm doing this outside, and I'm going to pour some Coke. It's a little bit fizzy, but I'm going to wait until the fizz is done. Now remember, you can use any liquid you wish. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to put my shell in there and pour the Coke in. Now I've got to wait. And I think it's best to leave it. If you can, leave it about a week or 4 days before you have a look to see what's happening to your eggshells. So that's that investigation, and there are lots more that we'll be doing. Another investigation that you could try is looking at air resistance. So if I no, I'm going to throw it, I'm going to drop it, I don't need to throw it. If I just let go of my ball, straight away gravity pulls it to the ground. And that's what gravity does. Air resistance actually keeps things up in the air longer. If you think of a parachute, the pocket of air that traps in that parachute, that's why people have parachutes, so they don't plunge to the ground like that ball, they slowly go down. So you're going to have a go, hopefully, at making some parachutes this week. I have made 2, and I have made both of them from this, well not from this bag, from a very similar bag. This is the bag I use, quite thick, this plastic. I have made one in the shape of a circle, and the other one in a rectangle, which is a type of square. So what have I changed? Remember, we're doing fair testing. I have changed the shape of the parachute. What I have kept the same, thinking about my variables, I have kept the same size string. I don't know if you can see, I don't want to put them together because I'm just, with it only being cotton, I think they might tangle together. And also I put a little weight there to help them float down. So I've kept some things the same, and I've just changed one thing with my parachute. So I'm going to drop them to the ground, and what I'm looking for air resistance. So the one that falls the last to drop, that stays up in the air longest, that's my winner. So I'm wondering if my round one, my circle shape, will win, or whether my square one. I'm going to drop them now. I'm going to wait, hold on. I'm going to wait for a little bit of wind actually, it might help it along. Ooh. Right, I'm going to drop them and see what happens. Ooh. Right, now I have a winner. But you don't know my winner. But you might want to find out by doing the same investigation as me. You could, however, change it. You might decide to use a carrier bag which is really thick, and then one that's really flimsy. Will that hold more air? Will it have more air resistance? You might want to change the size of your string. Maybe one set of strings will be that long, the other maybe that long. Does that make a difference? I don't know, I've never tried that. Does the shape make a difference? Will a triangle make a better one than a circle? Maybe you could investigate. So that's job number 2 that you can do. I'm back. I've just rescued my aeroplane, which I've been playing with all morning. I'm not very good at aeroplanes. I've made a very basic one, but I want you to investigate a different one to see which one you can make travel a long way. And maybe then we can have a competition back into the classroom to see which one is the winner. So I'm just going to see if my idea is to go over 3 houses. We'll see how far it goes. Not hit the gate and then smashed. Never mind. Hope you do better.